run like this. You'd have to have your, and if your knees weren't high enough, the PTI would be putting his hands there to make sure you got your knee high enough, and then they'd say, I don't actually remember what they'd say, but basically there was some command that they'd give them, and you'd be like that, like this. Hi guys, welcome to the channel, and episode 1 of what I'm hoping is going to be a weekly thing that I'll be doing. Be speaking about my time in the Royal Marines, in which I served 12 years from June 2005 to September 2017. So I'll be speaking about things that happened in training, units I went to, tours I went on, all that good stuff. So let's get started. So when people think of the Marines, a lot of the time they usually think about training, so they'll be thinking about the commando tests, which is the 9-mile speed march, Tarzan assault course, endurance course, and the 30-miler. Before you even get to that point, you've got so many obstacles in your way. When I went through, training was 32 weeks. I believe it's even longer now. I've heard it's something like 38 weeks. I'll have to check that, hold on. So I just did a quick Google search. Apparently it's still 32 weeks long. I did read this, like, you have to go on a 4-week course before it and a couple of other things, but oh well, we don't need to get bogged down with all that. So yeah, myself, I started my training on the 27th of June 2005, and I was a week after my 20th birthday actually. Got on the train at Chesterfield, I believe it was. I'm from Mansfield, so yeah, got on the train at Chesterfield, said my goodbyes to my mum and dad. Started a long journey down to Lympstone, which is in Devon, just next to the River Exe, sort of between Exeter and Exmouth. Was met at the platform by a bloke called, actually I don't know his first name, but we called him Corporal Neverson. I'm assuming that he does have a first name, so Corporal Neverson, if you're watching this, please drop a comment and tell us what your first name is. So yeah, met by Corporal Neverson, bought our bags, 27th of June 2005. It was red hot, and I mean really, really hot as well. And plus I'm ginger, so it's going to be hot anyway for me, Anyone who's been to Lympstone will know, but when you come through the gate where the train platform is, it's quite a steep hill you have to go up. So we're going up this steep hill, carrying on our bags, and we're marched. Well, not marched, but sort of we follow Corporal Neverson through the camp, through the barracks to the foundation block. The foundation block is where you spend your first 3 weeks. Dump all our bags. When everyone turned up, we then went to the store and we'll get in our kit given to us, and we had to run back to the foundation block, carrying our kit, put it on our beds. And that took a good couple of hours from what I remember. And then after that, I do believe that we went to do our Oath of Allegiance. So went from foundation block to what's called Puzzle Palace. You go into a classroom, your training team comes out with the medals on, and they're dressed in their Lovat uniform, which is like your number 2 uniform, medals on, blah blah blah. And then we did the Oath of Allegiance as a group, and after that point you can't leave for 3 weeks. I'm not sure if you're under 18 if you could leave or not, because I think technically if you're under 18 you can leave at any point you like, but I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely I couldn't leave for 3 weeks at least, or maybe 4 weeks. So anyway, the first day I can't really remember it, to be honest. Can't remember much. I just remember doing the Oath of Allegiance and running to and from stores carrying kit in the red hot sun. That's all I can really remember about it. So the first morning, so this will be the 28th of June, I woke up, I don't know what time, I have no idea, and I woke up and I thought, bloody hell, what have I done? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Sort of thing. So anyway, I got up, walked through to the corporal's office. So the foundation block is, imagine like Full Metal Jacket. It's like a big long room with beds and lockers. There's no bunk beds, or at least there wasn't when I was there. Big long room. I reckon you probably fit about 60, 70 recruits in there. But we were a small intake. I think we only had 32 recruits. So I walked from the accommodation part through. It was like a little wash area, I think it was. You know, like where you scrub your kit down. It's dirty, little room like that, and then you came out into the main entrance of the foundation block, and on the left was the corporal's office and his accommodation as well. I knocked on the door, and he opened the door. He opened the door, and he was stark bollock naked, and I was a little bit surprised, to say the least. And when you're in training, when you talk to a training team, you had to report. So, stacked to attention, corporal, I am recruit, Kemp, and then I started saying my service number, and he just went, yeah, what's up? I said, I want to leave, corporal, and he screamed, fuck off, and then he slammed the door in my face. and I thought, well, I guess that's that, I guess I'm staying. So off I went back to my bed space, and probably grabbed my shower stuff and started getting ready, and then a little bit of time after that he came through into the accommodation and gave us all a massive bollocking at my expense. So luckily he didn't tell everyone it was me. So that's a confession as well. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't get round to leaving on the 28th of June. I got round to it 12 years later. So that was, and the first 3 weeks were basically spent, you're learning how to look after yourself. You're learning how to, as in look after yourself, like sort of, they show you how to shower, believe it or not, show you how to brush your teeth, how to shave. The only thing we didn't do is show us how to wipe our arse, from what I can remember. You're shown how to iron your kit, make your bed, keep your locker neat and tidy. You go into the field. I think we had 24 hours on Woodbury Common, which is like the local training area. It's more or less the same thing. You're taught how to cook your food from your ration packs in the field, taught how to administer yourself in the field, so shaving, looking after your feet, anything like that really. I don't even remember if you put cam cream on in that first exercise. Probably not. Basically then it was a bit of an opportunity as well for the training team just to fuck us about and probably try and maybe get rid of some people, because that's the type of thing that they liked to do back then. I'm not sure about now. So yeah, the first 3 weeks is a lot of,
you will not cry, you will learn by the numbers, I will
stuff,
teach you. Now get up, get on your feet.
As well as doing your PT, to be a bit more core history is what I remember doing a lot of. Face, I guess, not like touching any weapons. Marines, it's going to be like, you probably did. It's going to be like Full Metal Jacket, screamed and shouted at. So you do get screamed and shouted at. We didn't, but it's not constant. Yeah, first 3 weeks, a lot of the time, the training team were first 2 or 3 weeks in the foundation block. Shout, Full Metal Jacket style, but not as much make you shouting, fucking horrible stuff like Full Metal Jacket. I would admit, just room inspections and just stuff to eat up your time, basically. That's the biggest thing how can I word this? The best thing you have as a recruit in any military training really is your own time. The worst thing that could happen, personally, I thought, was having your own free time taken away from you. It's like the worst thing. Doing extra press ups, getting fucked about, made to run around and get muddy and stuff like that. Yeah, it sucks. But the thing that was the worst was getting your free time taken off you. One thing as well, when you're at Lympstone, I think it's the same in the army as well, and I've got a lot of mates in the army and I do similar things. So I think in the army you're not allowed to wear like your regimental cap badge for a certain amount of weeks and stuff like that. That doesn't happen in the Marines, but what denotes you as being in your first 3 or 4 weeks in the Marines is, we used to wear an orange like tab, like a piece of mine tape on your rank slide of your shirt, and you'd be called a luminod, because this tape is luminous. I guess it's quite bright, can't be very easily missed. So basically, if you made any basic mistakes, like you didn't salute an officer, or you saluted somebody who didn't need to be saluted, or something basic, it wouldn't be held against you. You'd probably just be corrected on your mistake and sent on your way, unless it was a member of your trading team. They didn't really care, to be honest. But they're not there to be your friend either. So yeah, foundation phase was just basically learning admin and doing medicals and all this type of stuff. A little bit of time in the field, and PT and drill. At the end of that 3 weeks was called Families Day, and basically what it is your family come and see what you get up to on the Friday, and they watch you do drill, they watch you in the gym, they have a look around your accommodation. I think they sit in a couple of like lectures where people from the Marines tell them, this is what we've been doing, this is what we're going to do, blah blah blah. I think it's more for the families than your sake. Looking back, I don't think it's a good idea. 3 weeks, you're just getting into it, and then basically they let your girlfriends, boyfriends, whoever, mum, dad, come on the camp, and then you start probably, a lot of people probably thinking, wow, I think I should just go home instead. But yeah, after that day, you've been allowed home for it's called a long weekend. It's not really a long weekend. You pretty much get Friday and Saturday night at home if you choose. You don't have to. We had one guy in our troop who was previously in the Navy, on submarines, I think, actually, who didn't bother having anyone coming down for his family's day. Wasn't really that bothered about it. He'd been in the military training environment before. Probably weren't that much of a big deal for him. But if you're like me, I was 20, but I'd never really spent any time away from home. I had a girlfriend and stuff, and that's probably one of the main reasons why I wanted to leave on that 28th of June. Probably because of her. But we actually split up. She did me a massive favour. If you do join the military and you're not, hold on, my wife. That was a wife asking if I wanted a McFlurry. I declined. Anyway, where was that? Yeah, I would say, if you've got a girlfriend and you live, in Fort William, and you're travelling you're going all that way down south, in England to do your training, it's probably not going to last. Let's face it. You're best off breaking up. Yeah, she broke up with me, did me a massive favour. So cheers for that. Thank you. Here's one thing that you probably don't know about Lympstone, unless you've been there, is the food. Personally, I thought was brilliant. You obviously got your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then what you also got, what you actually were supposed to go to, but not everyone did, was called 9 o'clockers. So at night, I think it was like 9 till 9:30, an extra fourth meal, which was usually just like leftovers from the day. But to be fair, sometimes it really was just the ticket to sort you out after an hard day. So the food was pretty bang on, to be honest. You didn't get much time to eat it. To be honest, you got to think you would say maybe finish. You would be doing the gym. You'd be in the gym. Let's say it finishes at 12:15. So then your dinner break, if you want to call it that, lunch break, is 12:15 to like 1 o'clock. It finishes 12:15. Then you've got to get back to your accommodation. You've got to get showered, changed, queue up, eat your food, and then be back ready for your next lecture or whatever it is you're doing next at 1 o'clock. So it sounds like a lot of time, but generally it isn't that much time. You've got lots and lots to do in that sort of 45 minutes or whatever it was that you usually had for your lunch break or whatever. But yeah, food, bang on. And we used to have a place called Dutch's as well, so sadly no longer there. It was a fast food joint and it was brilliant. PT session, so for the first, I think it's first 9 weeks, possibly 12, but for your first few months, you're in the gym, not like bench pressing and deadlifting gym, more like a school gymnasium almost. You're doing it used to be IMF, I think, or Swedish PT, you'd be doing also. I'll put a clip up now. That's IMF basically. Rope climbing. There'd be strength sessions as well. You may be dragging like these heavy green mats about, jumping over horse boxes. To be honest, pretty pants the strength sessions. Personally, I don't think they actually did that much for your strength, to be honest. But yeah, you also go for runs around the local area, ranging from, probably like 3 miles to 6 miles, I guess. Cause you think, 6 miles, that's not far, but you got to remember is you've got other things to do in that day. You can't just spend all day running, basically. Hours and hours doing that. But the gym sessions were horrendous. So it's treated almost as if you're on the drill square. So you have to like snap to attention. You like jump and snap your arms down, and your arms have to be straight by your side. And if they weren't straight by your side, you'd hear a piece. And I couldn't do it. I still can't do it properly now. It's really difficult. I think you have to like squish your elbows in to your side and stand there. And if they weren't like that, you'd hear this. And a PTR, get your arms in, or something. No, they'd be like smacking your arms to make you get them in. And not being funny, I've got big. I don't know. I just couldn't do it. I still can't do it now. Like, it's just really. I just thought it was really difficult. You have to have your fingers, your fists unclenched with your fingers like this. Can you see me? Yeah, you'd be like this. You'd have to stand like that. And when you come to attention in the gym, you'd be like, I can't remember. You'd be running, and then you'd have to run like this. You'd have to have and if your knees weren't high enough, the PTI would be putting his hands there to make sure you got your knee high enough. And then they'd say, I don't actually remember what they'd say, but basically there was some command that we'd give them, and you'd be like that, like this. And you'd have obviously all sweat dripping down you. Some people would be sick in the gym, and if you were sick, you couldn't be sick on the PTI's floor. Oh no, you have to be sick inside your t-shirt, like that. Throw up in there, and then carry on wearing it for the rest of the gym session. So hopefully, if you were going to be sick, it'd be towards the end, because if you were sick right at the start, you're just running around in a sick covered t-shirt. One other thing in the Marines is that there's usually quite dark sense of humour. So in the gym again, I had somebody I used to partner up with on the strength sessions. I feel like his last name was Skelton. I think he didn't make it through training. Basically, I believe he got medically discharged. But he had a massive spot on his forehead here. One of the PTIs made me squeeze it. I remember squeezing it, and just all gunk came out all over it, and they had a right good laugh about that. That's the gym. The other main part of, I guess, training those first few weeks is being on the drill square. And again, it's obviously as you would expect on the drill square, you're doing lots of marching. We inspect your uniform, make sure you've pulled those boots, you've ironed your shirt, and all that type of stuff. Wasn't enjoyable personally. I didn't think, but it's part of soldiering, part of being in the military. So it's something that you do anyway. The drill sessions, you could have double drill, so like 90 minutes of drill. It was obviously thrilling and exciting. But the thing is with the drill sessions as well, it is actually quite physical. You probably don't, unless you've done it, probably don't realise, but to stand there at attention for even just a few minutes, if it's something you've not done or done a lot of, it can be quite difficult. When you're at attention, you're tensed, and you're trying to stand straight. And as well, the drill leaders, some of them could be quite not sadistic. Yeah, sadistic. We had one of them. Can't remember his name. He I don't remember. I don't remember what we did. We did something as a troop. I can't remember. Basically saying, oh, you think it's hard in the gym. Well, the drill leaders can thrash you harder than the PTIs, and they basically had us like running around the drill square in like drill boots. If you've ever seen drill boots, they're like it's kind of what we used to wear in like World War II. We've got like metal studs, and they are not made really for running on concrete. Running with your knees up in drill kit and all this, and it was just a shit time, to be honest. Even without that, even without being messed around, I think drill is quite a physical thing, especially if you're doing it with rifles and that type of stuff. Obviously, you don't do that in your first few weeks, but yeah, the drill square was a really big part. The other part is that you do like classroom lectures. It could be like first aid, map reading. Actually, is a very big subject. So there's going to be times when you're on your own and you've got to find your way around with your map and your compass, basically. But when you're in Royal Marines recruit training, they refer to you as a nod, and that's because you're always nodding off to sleep. Especially in a classroom environment, it don't take long. Honestly, if it's red out outside as well, it does not take long for people to just start nodding off. And the training team will see it, and they'll ask you a question, and you won't know the answer to it, and then you get a bit of a bollocking for not knowing the answer. But it's just one of the things, there's only so much that you can take before you start falling asleep. I fell asleep on the drill square. Luckily, not fell flat on my face, but I know people heard of people who have actually. Don't know anyone who's done it. I've heard of people falling asleep on the drill square and all that type of stuff. So sleep. I don't know if it's sleep deprivation. I don't ever actually purposely remember being kept up by the training team, but a lot of it is that you've got a lot. You're new to the environment. You've got a lot of kit to look after. You've got a lot of stuff to do, and you just end up going to bed really, really late and getting up really, really early. So, no one's actually telling you to stay awake, but you've got to, because you've got loads and loads of stuff to do at the end of the day. And obviously, the more you advance in training, the quicker you become at doing all this stuff. And actually, generally, the earlier you get to bed, the later on in training you get when you're on camp, is what I've found. So, yeah, so that's, in a nutshell, the sort of first few weeks. I think the next episode, I'm going to add a bit more structure to it. Because I've just done this on a whim. I just thought, sorry, I'll do this. So I'm going to add a bit more structure to it. Talk about things that were done in those sort of say, I guess, from weeks. We'll do weeks 5 to 10. Try and throw in some stories, but it is hard for me to remember. You got to realise this is like 20 years ago that this happened. So I might get stories mixed up. In the wrong week or whatever, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. So yeah, keep an eye out for the next episode. Give me a subscribe and a like and a comment. Helps out the algorithm apparently. So yeah, I'll see you next time with a bit more structure, and hope you enjoy it.